So here's a couple problems that hopefully if you worked on your own first and just check in your answers. So we are going to use our quadratic formula again to solve these. So starting off by picking out our A, which is 5, our B, which is -4, and our C, which is a +6. Plugging those into our quadratic formula, so M equals 4 plus or minus the square root of -4 squared minus 4 times 5 times 6, all divided by 2 times 5. So just simplify that down. We've got 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 120 over 10. Keep on going. So we've got 4 plus or minus the square root of -104 over 10. Breaking down 104, this is going to be 2 and 52. This will be 2 and 26. This will be 2 and 13. So we do have a pair of 2's that we're going to pull out here in front of our radical. And that is going to give us, come back up here, 4 plus or minus 2i. Remember the I comes from the fact that this was a -104. Square root of 26, which we got from multiplying our 2 and our 13 back together, over 10. And then if we look at those numbers in front, again, notice that 4, 2, and 10 are all divisible by 2. So we're going to divide out a 2 out of all 3 of these. That's going to end up giving us 2 plus or minus I square roots of 26 over 5. So M is equal to all of that goodness right there. Alright, let's try our next one. So again, using our quadratic formula, we want to pick out our A, which is 6, our B, which is -8, and our C, which is also 6. So now plugging that in, P equals 8 plus or minus the square root of -8 squared minus 4 times 6 times 6 divided by 2 times 6. And again, working through, just simplifying that quadratic formula down. So we've got 8 plus or minus the square root of 64 minus 144 over 12. Okay, so this is going to be 8 plus or minus the square root of -80 over 12. Okay, now we're going to break down that -80. So, or just break down the 80. So we've got 8 times 10. This is 4 times 2. 2 times 2, and then 10 is 2 times 5. So notice that we have a pair of 2's and another pair of 2's. So when we pull out from our square root, I'm going to do it up here, it's going to be 8 plus or minus 4, because we're going to multiply the 2 from this guy and the 2 from that guy. And we're going to bring out our I since it was a -80, and the only thing left under is the square root of 5 over 12. Again, looking to see if we can reduce this down between the 8, the 4, and the 12. And they are all divisible by 4, so we're going to divide out a 4 out of all 3 of these. And that is going to give us 2 plus or minus I square roots of 5 over 3. So our P is equal to 2 plus or minus I square roots of 5 over 3.